Howdy, folks. How's everybody doing today? We are, let me show you here what we've done yesterday. We've done some rebar, some form work, as well as some rebar work. And I got to apologize for not filming yesterday, but the days that I film, and I may not be filming later today. It depends on the circumstances. But uh, the days that I film, I got to hold the camera, I got to walk around, or I got to put it on a tripod. It just takes time away from the work. Today I'm a little exhausted, so I'm going to try to take it a little easier, but I do have a deadline. I got to finish all the form work. You see the form here? I got to finish digging. I'll be doing that with the tractor. I got to finish these forms, these holes, as well as, this is the big one because I've got termite inspection tomorrow. However, the rebars, as you see back there, I've got three pads with the hooks on them, with the C's on them. I've got another five pads back behind the tractor, on that, uh, leaning on that trunk over there. And I've got another two standing up there, and I've got two more to make. So I'm going to make those two now. The grids for the cages, and I'll show you them all in detail afterwards. Okay, so back's killing me, elbows killing me, knees killing me, and my feet are not doing so well. So it's gonna be a rough day, but God willing, I'll have everything on track for the concrete pour. If not, well, we'll push back the concrete a little bit. It's it's not live or die. So, folks, let me just go ahead and start this thing up. Put the camera in its rightful place, and let's do some rebar tying. Thanks everyone for popping in. Let me do my usual post, my welcome folks here. Stand by. Welcome, folks. And uh, so here we go. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's not easy. It's rough, you know. But not as young as I used to be, and I'm really pushing myself this week because I want to get this thing done. I mean, this part of it. I'm on schedule, but you know, just barely. I'm fine. But fortunately for me, I get to take my time with a lot of this stuff, like the blocks, because the trusses aren't here, and won't be here until August. So it is what it is. Ooh, this one's a little off, little short. Problem. All right, and here we go. Still got another full battery, so this one hasn't lost its charge yet. You see, that's a beautiful little toy there. Well, it's a tool. Oh, that one missed. Gotta keep all these. It's a slow start. Usually I do it a little bit quicker than this. Here I do it like this, then this, then this. But again, trying not to kill myself today. Again, Try the other way. All right. And no, I still have more rebar there. It's not the end of it. There's the rough approximation, and now we measure it. 1 foot, 2 foot. So how's everybody doing out there? Everybody good? Everybody had a nice relaxing weekend? Oh yeah, now comes the fun part. You see my block from over here. Got more. Now I can somewhat comfortably. You know, I really got to take some Advil because it's because I'm beat. Rather, my back is beat. Ah. Not worried about a button. Okay, so far so good. Make sure that they're all tied. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now let's tighten them a little. Hand tighten for the loose ones. And it should be good. Just for, you know, safety's sake, whatever. Because not safety, but just to do a little extra. Let me check the comments, see if anybody who's out there. How you doing? Good to see you, Troy. Good to see you, Danny. Let's see. Welcome from South Carolina. Welcome. I'm just doing my usual live, but usually I start a live either 10 or 1 or 3 or 7, whatever, at night. But today I got a long day, so I don't know if I'll get to, you know, I do a few lives a day sometimes as I'm working. And then I've got my edited videos. But they're a little behind. Go to javi.com, that's JAVI.com, and you'll get a kick out of a lot of the build videos. But, all right, here we go. Let's see, we're looking at 5 times 2, 3, 30. This is about 65 pounds. No biggie, but when you put both of them together with the number 4s in between, it gets to be a biggie. All right. And as Karnak would say, we now have the last. Well, the last of these type. Then I got to do the grids, and I'm going to do them in the back. Because pretty soon the sun will come up, and it's going to be a brutal day. So I've got my little marks on the table to line these up. I can barely see the other mark, but I'm there. The old rebar work. So I got my cousin Miguel used to work with me. I mean, we're talking 30, 35 years ago. We used to work at a construction project. My father's a GC. Well, he still is a GC. Um, for about, we're going on 57, 58 years as a GC now, you know. Anyway, uh, back in the back in my, well, not so much youth, but in my 20s, I guess youth, my cousin and I, we worked together for quite a while. We had a blast. It was, you know, chatting. It was bending down all day on a grid. If you saw the amount of steel in this grid, it was bar after bar after bar after bar after bar, and laid out. I mean, we had 40-foot bars, and there was one layer. Then there was then there were some supports. Then there was another layer, and bottom line is there were 4 layers of rebar in this it was only I think it was a 4-story building, and we had to run pre-stressed post-tension cables through it. Well, first, let me tell you, my cousin and I, we got so good at tying rebar with the pliers. You know, we had we had actual rebar tying pliers. These are electrical, but you know, they'd have the springs on them, and it's just like boop 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 boop. I mean, we have I don't have the wrist for that anymore, but we had a blast. I mean, you know, the youth. Wow. And so then these cables we had to run. We got pretty darn good at running them. They'd have to go over some of the pads, under some others. They were specific. There was rebar running each way in all different directions, and well, 2 directions. You know, 90 degrees mostly, but there was some that go higher, lower, and we had to know exactly. We got to put the cable under this pad, over this pad, and between this one, and in the end, what happens is this cable it's greased and it's insulated, and it's one long piece. The ends stick out. Okay, so what we would do is we have a form. Okay, so let's say you have a form and you have all the rebar. We would run the cable, we sew it, if you will, sew the cable into the rebar, and this blue plastic sheathing that was on the cable stays on it, and the cable's greased. It's supposed to be loose, not the rebar. The rebar is supposed to stick to the concrete, but the cable itself is supposed to be, you know, give and take, because it's creating extra tension. So it's basically acting like a very, very tight rubber band inside the steel building. So if to give a little give, but so nothing would crack and create extra what's the word? Well, extra strength to the extra rigidity to the extra bearing capacity, load bearing capacity to the concrete pad in between the first and second floor, in between the second and third, et cetera, et cetera. The formwork would be on the side, and then we'd have these little plastic, we'd drill a little hole in the formwork and have these little plastic caps that we'd screw into the formwork and then put the cable through. So what would happen is they look like little cones, you know, 75-degree cones at the end. So when you take off all the forms, you're left with a cable in kind of like a funnel formation. And the reason for that is it had this little bell shape on it, because the machine would take and you would have a wedge, and the machine would push the wedge in, which would clamp on the cable and pull the cable. Dunk, 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 dunk. So the cable would be pulled, and then when you have the proper amount of tension, God knows how many thousands of pounds of tension I don't remember, on the cable, one side would be locked in place. The other side, you'd use a hydraulic machine to pull the cable tight. And then once you release it, the wedge basically locks the tension in place. And you're good to go. And then you cut off the end of the cable at the end. And there's redundancy in case a cable snaps after the fact. Yeah, that never happened. That's never happened to us. But it was a cool construction project. It was fantastic. Wow. So it was really neat. I like that. And there's two people I think of every time I think of the cable. I mean of rebar. One's my cousin Miguel, and another one, actually three people. Another one's a friend of mine, Bill Fody. I don't know whatever happened to him. He's disappeared off the face of the earth. One day he just stopped talking to me, and I don't know. I must have said something. My personality can sometimes be a little brash, so I don't know what happened. But to this day, I wish I miss him dearly. We used to work a lot together and stuff. Back when I was extremely, extremely immature. He would goof off every now and then, but for the most part, what I mean by goofing off is he threw a hammer once. We were in a construction site. We were playing around, and he's aiming, and he throws a hammer at a wall. And the wall must have been easily, let's see, from here. Yeah, it's from here to there. So easily 40, 50 feet away. And he threw a hammer. It was a steel hammer with a rubber grip, like one of those S-wings. It hit the wall on the back of the handle and bounced right back, landed right on his foot. Broke his foot. Or at least severely damaged it. I don't know if he ever filed for workman's comp, with my dad's company or whatever, but let me tell you, that must have hurt. I don't know. But I miss him. We used to work on a lot of stuff together. Another buddy of mine, Dan Guest, we used to work on stuff together in construction. There's something about I guess the camaraderie of working together in any job, really, that some people you remember more fondly than others. And now with the age of Facebook, and you can pretty much find most people that, unless I got another buddy of mine who's completely, and I'm not going to mention his name because I respect his privacy, but he'll know who he is if I describe him, although he doesn't watch Facebook, so he'd probably never see this. But he was a tall, thin, Doctor Who loving friend of mine in high school, who got into Cornell. Anyway, he's another one I married. And he's got a couple kids. Yeah, I touched base with him recently, and I'm guilty of it too. Nobody. I guess this is life, but we really haven't talked much since that initial talk. Said, hey, let's get together. Yeah, but it's not like I don't know. It's a shame, but life happens. I mean, it's funny how things work out because I'm getting ready to move, whole family, and up here, and no, I've already moved practically. Getting the whole family to move, and so everybody's chomping at the bit to move up here already. But there's a plan, there's a schedule, and there's a lot of friends in Miami, and this is what caused me to move. Is out of I have a whole bunch of friends. Well, what caused me to move is the fact that Miami is become it's just unbearable after 56 years there. It's just not for me anymore. I'll leave it to the youth. And so anyway, but one of the reasons that I was thinking seriously about the move is my life is not the same as when I was in high school or even college, where I would have a group of friends and we'd be hanging out every day. And I haven't seen my other than maybe some work friends, I haven't seen my old friends in ages. And some of them we talk, and we talk on the phone, or we talk on Facebook, or we FaceTime. And in today's day and age, with today's technology, and many of them have moved. So what's the point in staying in a city you don't that one doesn't appreciate you, and the culture has changed dramatically. Well, okay, the culture has changed gradually over the years, but it's been 5 decades, close to 6. So any culture is going to change like that, but not as dramatic as this one. For years I was very, very set in my ways, very emotionally attached to Miami, and obviously there were earlier years, like the last 20 years, where my kids are growing up. I'm not going to yank them from one school and all their friends, so I wouldn't do that. But now they're in college. It's become that time. It has become that time to move. Like I was saying, one of the decisions was that since I don't speak to my friends on a high school regular basis like ages ago, I mean, I'm looking at the past. I could FaceTime them from anywhere. Social media has played a large part in me moving. I eventually would have retired here, but 20 years earlier, because there's, frankly, I can do everything that I do down there, up here, just as easily, with no, oh, holy cow, I finished the last one. Wasn't even thinking about it. This makes 12 grids, So, and all right. That one's a little loose. Not for long. All right. This makes 12 grids. Now I got to put the C's on them, but I'll use the tractor and I'll do it over there in a little bit. What I want to do now is I want to start creating the hoops. Yeah. Let me see how I do that. How I go about doing that, because I know exactly I know exactly what to do, but it's a 20-foot length. I'm basically creating. I've got a 6-inch by 20-inch length uh, of of rebar. I think I know what I'm gonna do. Nope, can't do it that way either. I have to hang it. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll hang it and I'll tie a few of them. Yeah. I gotta figure it out. I gotta invent something. So another 65 pounds to drag over here. Ah. Now what I'll do is I'll grab the machine. I'll grab the tractor, and and you'll notice those grids over there. I'll grab the tractor, and the forks go right into the. If you look at it from the top left down, 2-2 hole and the 4-2 hole, or 2-4, depending on your coordinate system. But the forks will go right through here. Lift all 4 of these up, and I can move them comfortably. And there's that annoying beep reminding me that I left this thing on. So, not much for auto shut off. Huh? All right, so here's the next step, folks. I have to get a bunch of and I might just take a break for breakfast and be on in a little while. But I have to somehow. Oh, I know exactly. No. Well, yeah, I know what I'll do. I know exactly what I'll do. Yeah, here's what I'll do. Okay, now, imagine, if you will, that this is a 20-foot long cage. Each of these edges is a 20-foot number 5 rebar. And every 2 feet, I have to put a square, a number 4 square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunch of blocks in probably in the middle and on 2 ends, and rest the two number 5s, and just drop all the rebar in place, the hoops. Then I'll tie them. They'll all get tied. Then all I got to do is then comes the tough part. Then I have to figure out how to tie the other ones on the bottom, which usually, if I lift it with the fork enough, I could tie it. I may have to lift the middle and then each of the sides separately with the fork, tie 2 or 3 of the hoops, and then rest it back down on the thing, and then I could tie the rest of the hoops. That's probably what I'll end up doing. But where I do it is the other issue. It's got to be a flat area, it's got to be a large area, and it's got to be easily accessible by backhoe, and it's got to be shaded. We'll worry about that in a little while. But at least at this point, I'm ahead of the game. I've done these things, and we'll see how well I can tie that. Because if that tire doesn't work, the wire tire doesn't work well with those corners, then I'm kind of stuck. It should be fine. I'm kind of stuck doing it with manual, and that takes more time than I need because I got to do the foundation as well. So I'm gonna rest a little bit because it's early and yesterday kicked my butt. This is the perfect time to work, but I need some breakfast. All right, folks, have a wonderful day. I will catch you all in a live very shortly. Well, somewhat shortly when I have everything set up. So you guys all enjoy, and hopefully I'll catch you in a live because if I get too busy, then yeah. Thanks for dropping by.